Hi, Tejas.
Hi.
For people who don't know what Morph is, can you fill them in?
Yeah, so we train models and subagents for code gen. One of my hot takes was that these general inference platforms that'll accelerate any model you bring, but I don't think that that they're gonna serve it better than you can.
You grew up in a budget inn with zero programming knowledge. You taught yourself to build a hotel website, and it was generating $48,000 a year.
People underestimate how good of a product feel it is when stuff is fast. One of the problems with long-running agents is and so we use Composio for Apollo, we use it for my Gmail. Very easy setup, didn't have to do a lot. I feel like the way I talk to my friends is such that they are closer to their one-year goal as opposed to them feeling good about their day-to-day interaction with me. You have to be, as a founder, able to change.
What's a prediction you made about AI a few years ago that came true?
From the concept of
What do founders get wrong about AI agent infrastructure?
it's really hard to vibe code a good harness right now.
Hi, Tejas.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's 9 p.m. right now, so super appreciate you coming in late.
I don't know. I mean, it's late if you're not a founder, but it's
That's
middle of
true.
the day if you're a founder, right?
What would you have been doing if you weren't here right now?
Oh, full machine psychosis in the cloud code, the parallel cloud codes. That's where it came from. Just yeah.
Wow, you have a bunch of monitors?
No, I have one monitor, the ultra wide, and then
okay.
I have a foot pedal, and then I have a foot pedal for whisper flow. So my foot pedal triggers whisper flow, and then I have shortcuts to move between my terminals.
Oh my gosh! So you code with whisper flow?
Yeah. I mean, I use it for voice when I'm using Cloud Code.
Okay.
I mean, you can't actually speak code into this. You could speak
true.
words into Cloud Code, and Cloud Code is code.
A pedal.
Yeah, I'm early. I'm early. I feel like it's not worth the waste of a hand, because the hand could do a lot of. It could switch windows. It could do a lot of higher value things than press the FN button. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm early on this. I think everyone's gonna be doing the foot pedal pretty soon.
When do you think they'll figure it out? Why have they not figured it out?
I don't know. I think because the product's actually really bad. It looks like something. It's made for sewing machines, I think.
Oh.
For industrial factory workers doing sewing machines, and so it's this thing with USB-A, and it's janky. So someone's gonna make a good version, an Apple feeling version. Yeah. I'm giving out my alpha for free too.
And then Whisperflow will acquire.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, speaking of founder, let's talk about your whole journey. For people who don't know what Morph is, can you fill them in?
Yeah, so we train models and subagents for code gen. So our three main products right now are Fast Apply, which is a model that's really fast at applying code edits, Warp Grep, which is a model for searching for code, and our latest one from 2 days ago was compaction, so Flash Compact. It's a model that's very fast at taking 200K of context and compacting it down to 50K, for example.
Oh.
And that outputs at 33,000 tokens per second. So we train and we serve these ourselves. We own our own inference engines, and that's why you get it to be so fast.
Okay. And you said 2 days ago, so you just recently launched
the compaction model, yeah.
Compaction. Wow,
Yeah.
That's super exciting. And then what's the biggest misconception people have about what you're building with Morph?
I mean, I guess often people think that either we don't train our own models or we don't serve them, but we really believe that we have to own the full stack in order to be a compelling product. I think a lot of these open source products, open source models just off the shelf are not super valuable, just because you don't have a speed boost compared to a frontier model. You don't have a price benefit that much. So I think in order to be compelling, you'd be better, faster, and cheaper. Otherwise, it ends up being OpenAI's model or Anthropic's model is just easier. And so that's why we own the full stack, from the training stack to the serving stack for all of our models.
And did you realize that only after you after you started kind of building, you realized we have to own the full stack or else?
I mean, it was always since the beginning. But one of my hot takes was that these companies Fireworks and Together, these companies that sell you inference are these general inference platforms that will accelerate any model you bring. But I don't think that it's true that they're going to serve it better than you can. Especially if you're in a niche. If you're just training a chat model, yeah, they'll probably be able to serve it faster than you. But if you're doing some niche thing for us, for compaction, our inference engine is really wonky. If you're doing something truly compelling, I think you should own it yourself.
Okay.
And if the value is there, it's hard, but I think it's worth it.
Okay, why is it hard?
Inference is just very finicky, especially for language models. There's these open source things like VLLM and SGLang are sort of the two most common ones, and then NVIDIA has one called TensorRT LLM. And these abstract a lot of the complexity away, because there's this thing called variable length computation. So when you get something in ChatGPT, right, it's you don't know how long the input is or how long the output is, right? If you ask something easy, it'll be short output. If you ask something hard, it might be longer. So these are all things you need to weigh when you're actually building an inference engine. Like, and so these products just like abstract it away, so you don't have to think about that stuff. But like again, that's like those are all very general inference engines, just like a fireworks or together is also very general. And so like I think you either take one of those or start your own from scratch, and like really like make it just for one task. Like for us, for compactions, like we don't care about any other model other than our compactions model. So we can make trade-offs that a general serving engine wouldn't.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I first kind of reached out to you about interviewing, you told me something really crazy, or something something I've never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in a budget inn motel in Anaheim,
Mm-hmm.
literally lived there from birth until you were 18, and then at 16, with zero programming knowledge, you taught yourself to build a hotel website, and it was generating $48,000 a year. What made you decide to just figure it out?
So my parents only did 6th grade, so there was really no means to like for them to build a website or even set up Wi-Fi. So it's just like, if I didn't do it, then no one was. And so like I saw around me that like people were like, this is very late. When I was 16, is like 12 years ago. So like hotel booking was like a thing for like 5 years before that. Many years, and they were just really late. And so it was very obvious I couldn't do a website to do direct bookings with. And so yeah, it was like back when WordPress was the thing. I barely knew how to code, so I was like hacking something together with WordPress, and then the WordPress template didn't have something I needed, so I had to like go into WordPress internals and look into what MariaDB was, and it was a nightmare. But like these days, it's way easier. But back then, it was a struggle.
Are you almost glad that you kind of learned like without AI? Because now it's easier. Are you glad it was harder for you then? Like it was like
I think so. I mean, I think AI would be really nice for me because I was like genuinely pretty curious, and it's like helps you like learn a lot faster. Yeah. But there's a lot of people where like they easily use it as a crutch instead of a learning aid. I think I would have used a learning aid, but maybe I'm giving my old self so much credit. Yeah. I don't know.
And then your parents, they just told you like, hey, could you like build?
No. They didn't believe that it could be built. Like they don't really understand like how even like to turn on their computer almost sometimes. So it's like it's quite a gap that like software is a thing that like, they don't understand. They don't know the word software really. So like they don't understand like software gets written and then it runs on a computer. So, yeah.
So you saw the problem and you were like, I'm just gonna take it into my own hands.
Yeah, I was like, why not? Do it. Why not? I mean, school is boring, so why not?
Wow. How did you know about like coding? How did you find out about program coding?
I mean, for me, I kind of knew that there was like some software stuff in the background. I mean, I was a very hacky. Maybe unethical hacking before that. I think the first programming language that I actually wrote anything in was a thing called Windows batch format. And there was a bug in Windows 7 where you can like copy files from someone's computer without them knowing. If you plug in a USB with the malicious Windows BAT file on it. So that was like my first intro to programming. It was trying to get files off of a computer I wasn't supposed to with the USB.
And then your LinkedIn title for that job is Hotel Tech Child Labor.
Yeah, I don't take LinkedIn very seriously like everyone does.
There's just something in that framing. I mean, you build real infrastructure under real pressure before you ever set foot into a CS classroom. How did that shape how you think about building now?
I feel like I never really even was in a CS classroom. I did electrical engineering, so.
Okay. Hardware. Did you start with hardware and like electrical? Okay.
Yeah. And so like I never really actually had traditional like software engineering principles ingrained. Just sort of all self-taught.
Wow.
Yeah, for software at least.
So you went from hotel Wi-Fi access points to working at Tesla autopilot firmware to ML infrastructure to computer vision models. You touched almost every layer of the AI stack. What did working across all of that teach you that most AI founders don't know?
Yeah, I mean even like other ML engineers, I feel like I just have like the full breadth between like training optimization, serving, everything in between. Because how you train and how you serve are like actually very interconnected. Like a lot of teams often like consolidate training into one team and serving into one team, and then like there's this mismatch because oftentimes there's things you could leverage at inference time that you should. So I feel like the ideal person to build the best product is someone that understands training, inference, and product. And like sometimes you get 1.5, but like I think all three together can make something really compelling.
Was this something like, was your strategy to really learn like every part of it?
No, I didn't really have strategy. It was sort of just like chasing curiosity.
Chasing curiosity.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like it's almost, at the time I was wondering if it was toxic. Because like I was wondering, like a lot of people, like if you look at Ilya Sutskever, or like a lot of these people, like they go like really deep. Like they don't have a lot of breadth, but they understand like everything down to like the finest detail. And like these people have outsized returns. And so I was almost wondering if like, the breath was a mistake, but I almost just like couldn't look away for the breath. Like everything's just so interesting to me.
When was the moment at Tesla where you knew it was time to go and build something?
I don't want to speak bad about Tesla. I really liked my time at Tesla. It was really fun, like, especially autopilot was very fun. Tesla was like becoming a big company before I left, and so like with a big company comes like restrictions on how fast you can build. Like you can't YOLO stuff to prod anymore. You have to like go through a stakeholder meeting, and you have to do like this review and that review and security review, and all that stuff is fair. It's just not something I wanted to do. And so I feel like the smaller, scrappier, just like I can move very fast is like the culture I liked.
Yeah.
Which Tesla does have, to be fair, even at their scale, is like if you compare Tesla and like an Amazon, for example, Tesla at their scale still moves a lot faster. But I just don't really have a lot of patience for like the whole business side of things.
Was there something else that was like maybe an inspiration of yours, like a mentor, where it was like pushed you to like go and build something of your own, or you were like you always knew you wanted to do this and you were like just waiting?
Yeah, it's more like I always knew I wanted to do this. It was when it became like super easy of a decision. It became an easy decision once I was like doing like story pointing meetings and business stakeholder meetings. I was like, it's my time.
Do you think you should be waiting for when this decision feels easy, or when it's like you should do it even if it's
hard?
Hard, like you got to take that risk, because maybe if it's easier, you take less of a risk because you're like,
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I don't know. I feel like you should be compelled to do it, and so like you shouldn't need to be convinced into doing it. Otherwise, you're probably gonna like end up losing your motivation a few months in, anyways.
You wrote publicly last year the hottest AI tools were helping devs write code faster. This year, the winners are agents editing code faster. When did you see that shift happening, and why did most people miss it?
Well, I think people underestimate how good of a product feel it is when stuff is fast. Like when we work with our customers, like roughly there's a 1-to-1 correlation with improving speed and conversion rates. Like for example, if you double speed, you will roughly double conversions in the AI code gen space, where like you're doing these AI app builders. But you can't do that at the cost of accuracy, because then you also lose customers on the accuracy drop. So as long as you can keep accuracy constant, if you double your speed, you can roughly expect double conversion. And that was becoming obvious to me as we were onboarding our first customers. Yeah.
So you saw that through the customers, like.
Yeah, customers, just anecdotal experience with using AI tools as well.
AI writes code, but getting it cleanly into a real file is broken. Tell me the story of the time you realized this is the actual problem worth solving.
Yeah, so I mean, Cursor was the first company to do a fast apply model. And fast apply is basically a dedicated model that is trained at applying an edit into a file. So like traditionally, a model can do like a search and replace, which is outputs a string to delete and a string for what to replace it with. And this is sort of like wasteful from a token perspective, because the frontier model is outputting what to delete, which is like not really that hard. And mostly you care about the new tokens, right? And so around like middle of last year, like models were really bad at doing this. There was like a 20% error rate on this. And so the secondary model was like super critical, and it was like very, very easy to sell because there was really no other way. Today, search and replace is a bit better, but it's still very token wasteful. Like you'll still lose your 20 or 30%, but you won't have that 20% failure rate anymore. Your failure rate's maybe like 4 or 5% now. But you still have that wasted tokens. And so my whole philosophy is that like there's these tasks where like you want to use the frontier model's tokens for stuff that only it can do. It's like novel reasoning, novel coding. That's what you should use, like the OpenAI GPT 5.4 or the Opus 4.6.
Frontier.
Yeah, so a frontier model would be OpenAI's model or Anthropic's model.
Why is it called frontier? Because it's like, at the front, they're like the biggest.
Yeah, the biggest model is on the frontier of reasoning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's a code gen term.
No,
it's a
frontier model. No,
yeah.
It's nice. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
So I learned that you have 4 products. You have Fast Apply, Warp, Grep, and Flash Compact. For someone who doesn't live in this world, what does each one actually do in plain English?
Yeah, so Fast Apply is a model that applies edits to files very fast. Warp Grep is something that searches for content in files very fast. And so these are all very useful in the code gen space. And Compaction is a model that takes like a lot of text and shrinks it. And this is a problem like when you're using a coding agent like Cloud Code, for example, like 10 to 15 messages in, you'll hit like a spot where you need to compact because it's too long. The model's performance is tanking, so it needs to shrink it. The traditional method like in Cloud Code is that you just ask the model like, please summarize the past contents. and it'll take like 2 minutes and write like a long summary of everything that happened. For us, our model basically chooses lines to delete. And so that's what we train for, and we try to do this very fast. And so like in a product, like if you've used something like Lovable before, like if you're to do a compaction in that, waiting like 2 minutes is like a great spot for a user to churn. Whereas with our compaction, it's like 1.5 seconds. So you're not going to have the user churn then. And so we're basically solving these problems in the code gen space.
Okay, why is there a churn for? Why haven't they like fixed it? Like why?
Well, so churn typically happens when the user has to wait. The user gets frustrated, right? Like if you're waiting for a page to load, I'm sure you've used like Google Chrome before, and if something takes too long, you just like close it. There's a pretty high chance. Like I think there's like a graph where they show like every second. There's like an exponential graph. Like if the user has to wait 3 seconds, there's like a 50% chance they'd like just bounce and leave.
Yeah, that's true.
And so like that's what I mean by churn.
Okay.
It's like when the user's waiting there, they're gonna be like, oh, what's happening? And they're just like, I have stuff to do. And just close it and leave. And so like all of these products we're doing is like solving problems like these in the code gen space.
Fast apply runs at 4,500 tokens per second with 8 times fewer errors than patch diffs. For someone who hasn't used it, what does it actually feel like in practice? What changes?
Yeah, so it's 10,000 tokens per second now.
10,000.
This was like a few months ago.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
10,000. Okay.
So like someone using a product like from one of our customers, like Anything or Framer or Webflow, they would never know our product exists because we sell to these companies building their agents. And so for them, they should feel nothing. They should just feel like a good user experience. And so that's the ideal. Like ideally, when we're selling B2B, no one even knows our product exists. They just feel like it's good.
That's a tip for design stuff, right? There's a tip for like the best design. It feels like it doesn't it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because if it's like very chaotic and all over the place, like that's actually good.
Yeah, like the eyes should be in design. At least the eyes should be drawn places naturally. You should not think about it, right?
So that's how you operate. So you just no one should know like.
I mean, it'd be cool if I just had like a banner powered by Morph, but like the companies that use us aren't going to do that.
Wow. You said agents are shifting from quick IDE edits to tasks running for hours or days. What does that change about the infrastructure underneath?
I mean, I think I tweeted recently that all agents are becoming coding agents. I mean, this is sort of adjacent to what you're asking, but I think like when you have higher trust, you can have agents do more and more. If you have higher trust in the compaction, that happens. Because one of the problems with long-running agents is like, let's say you have an agent run for 30 minutes. It's going to need to compact at some point because it's too many tokens. And so having that process be good is one thing to enable long-running agents. And why I think they exist is just because like for example, if I was to say like build me a mobile app for Morph, that's going to be a very long-running task. And you have to have trust that that's going to work well. But we're getting it to a spot where the models are getting good enough where that's going to happen.
So here it says you're actually a 2-person team right now. Yeah. And you were on Times Square on like
for the YC launch thing,
Yeah. And then trending on Open Router.
That was temporary. But yeah, the first week we launched. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the thing you did early that you think most teams skip?
I mean, I just like locked in, just like sat in and just like was programming till 3 a.m. every day.
Every day.
I still do. Like honestly, it's bad. I feel like Cloud Code has like this strangle on me where I just like I can't go to bed.
You can't go to bed until you finish like
I always think like I'm gonna get like this one agent running that's gonna run overnight. It just takes me so long to get to that point where I can like set off the long running one.
Why is it only 2 people right now?
So part of my calculus when we're hiring is like a full-time hire would be like 200K, right? So roughly with like stock and insurance and everything. And so it's like, should that 200K be spent on GPU compute or should it be spent on human compute? And right now, the highest alpha thing for us is to just like use more GPU compute. And so, I mean, this will probably change soon because especially now that we're like forward deployed bottleneck, like we have more integrations than we can possibly handle right now. So probably have to hire people for that now. But like historically from today and before, this was the logic when we work trial someone is like, is this person going to be worth more than us just spending the money on GPUs? And it's usually the GPU. It's really hard because for us, like the GPUs are so useful.
I feel like this is a dumb question, but what is GPUs?
Oh, GPUs like do you know the company NVIDIA?
Yeah.
So NVIDIA makes GPUs, and the GPUs are used for training and inferencing the model. So inference is like when you use ChatGPT, that's the inference. And behind the scenes when they're training it,
that's GPU.
That's I mean, they both use GPUs,
Oh,
but they're different processes. Like the training is like it's like a whole different process with GPUs, and you're serving it into inference. That's also on GPUs, but that's what you're feeling in ChatGPT is inference.
the GPUs are very expensive.
Yes, very expensive. We spend like 8x more on GPUs than we do on salary.
I guess it makes sense for founders. Like founders they're making a lot less than they're like spent. Like
Yeah, I mean, I have one hire, and he gets his full time, but like other than that, it's just all GPUs mostly.
You're using Composio for Slack bot. Walk me through what the bot does and what problem does it solve for your team or your customers.
So every time someone signs up for Morph, we have like so Apollo integrates into Composio, and so we use Composio for Apollo. We use it for my Gmail, and so we send a welcome email, and we do like an Apollo lookup for like that gets their LinkedIn link and stuff, and then it sends us a message in our Slack with all that. And so that's all using Composio. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it was like a very easy setup. Didn't have to do a lot. Yeah. I feel like the onboarding to like get set up could be a little bit better because I feel like sometimes it's not clear in Composio in the dashboard for like where to go. But like overall, much better than having to do it myself.
Wait, why is it not? How is it not clear?
Well, because I'm using it via the API.
Okay.
And Composio has Rube, right? It's like their.
Oh, we're continuing.
Oh, I see.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
New dashboard coming.
Yeah. I bet it'll be good now. Okay. Composio is like so big now. I bet like the UX will be a lot better now.
Oh yeah. How did you like find out about Composio?
I think it was like just like the first MCP marketplace, right? It was just like a very early. I was like, okay, it's much better today than it was when I first started. It was really bad when I first started, but I still used it.
Oh.
It was a long time ago. I think I was one of the first users. I think I saw like their launch probably, and I used Composio.
What would building the Slack tool have looked like without Composio?
So we would have had to get like Apollo API docs, built Apollo tools. Apollo has like in Composio it exposes like 20 or so tools. Yeah, so it would have looked like building all of those, which for us we're like too small of a team. So I think like that would be too much work. I do maintain a lot of other stuff. I maintain like a Slack CLI, a LinkedIn CLI, and a Gmail CLI, and like all this stuff I do myself. But
how long did it take you to ship the Slack bot with Composio?
I think like a day.
And then without it would have taken more.
I mean, I do a lot of stuff in parallel, so I mean maybe like maybe like 3 days, 2 or 3 days.
Okay, yeah. You like in parallel, you like not multitask, but in parallel, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have like the 6 to 8 Cloud codes running generally at the same time.
Okay, so you're always doing multiple tasks at once.
Yeah, because Cloud Code takes so long to run. I don't know if you've ever used Cloud Code. You should. It's really cool.
Oh my gosh.
Even if you're not technical, it's really good. Yeah. So like you can like tell one Cloud Code to start working on one thing. You can tell another one to start doing another thing. And while that one like takes it 10 minutes to work, you can still do a bunch of stuff in parallel.
Okay, because I use Claude for other stuff, just like, and it does take a little bit to. Because it helped me create a storyboard.
So you use it on the web app?
Yeah.
Online?
Yeah. You can like.
So Cloud Code is in the terminal.
On the terminal.
Yeah.
Are you using Composio for anything beyond Slack? Or maybe what toolkit are you most excited about the most?
From Composio?
Yeah.
Typically, I just use it to like bring in like, because they have like their hundreds of integrations, just plug it in, and then I have the Composio via their Composio API, and that's sort of been the nice part there. So I don't use it outside of the Slack box, but maybe I should. Yeah.
Okay, as a founder who has been on both sides, building Infra yourself at Tesla and now buying it from Composio, what's your framework for the build versus buy decision?
It's like that Rick Rubin meme. They just like vibe it. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, no, what was the meme?
There's some memes are always hard to put into words. It's like, do you know who Rick Rubin is?
No.
It's not worth it.
Oh, okay. Is he in tech?
No, he's like this guy that is known for being like a taste. I mean, you're trying to be a tastemaker, right?
Yeah.
Tastemaker storytelling. Rick Rubin is well known for like being the tastemaker type guy.
Okay.
And he has like this meme of him like closing his eyes on the computer, just like showing him, like he's just vibing it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I just sort of vibe it. But like essentially like we're a small team, so I just, whether I build or buy, sort of almost like an impulse. Like if I feel like it's going to be more than like an hour of work, perhaps I'll go buy. But increasingly my decisions are becoming more build, just because like to have Claude have the full power to configure stuff. But despite that, the Composio Slack app is still useful for us.
What would you tell any other technical founder who's on the fence about using Composio versus rolling their own toolkit?
I mean, I think there's a pros and cons of like both options, but I think especially if you're going to be doing like multiple integrations that are already like Apollo, for example. I don't know if the LinkedIn connection does like connection requests and messages and stuff like this. No.
Haven't tried it out.
But like a lot of this stuff, like LinkedIn scraping has anti-botting and whatnot. So like a lot of that work would just be too much work to do yourself, especially if it's not for internal tools and whatnot. It's like just not. Like if you're gonna build, I see that the use case for building if you're like it's center to your business. Like if you're building like a Gmail app, like you can't use Composio to Composio's Gmail integration for your own Gmail agent that's externally and you're selling. But if you're just building something quick for like a Slack app or some internal tool where you need it, it's like it's pretty good.
Create.xyz data button, continue.dev. There are real companies using Morph in production. What are they building with that surprised you?
I mean, I work with so many of them, like so little surprises me now. But like I mean, in the beginning, like Create was one of our earliest customers. I think one thing that surprised me is like how they store Git repos, stuff like this. I mean, I probably shouldn't share what their exact stack is, but like a lot of the stuff that they're building, like in code is just so early. Like you would imagine that there's a good way to store like thousands of repos, but there's not. Like GitHub doesn't let you. So like they all go looking for some like hacky solution, some like serialize it, they store on S3. Some will just like dump it into their database. Others will just like fix it in their sandbox and like freeze the sandbox. And there's trade-offs to all of them. Yeah, it's like when you're working on the frontier, there's nothing built for you. So they just have to do a bunch of hack job solutions a lot of the time, which is just the nature of it.
How did they become your customers?
For Create, it was Twitter. Continue was over email. Data Button was in person. I flew there.
Where did you find?
They're in Norway, in Oslo.
Whoa.
Oslo? Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah, I was coming back from China from another customer, and so I was like, I could just do that.
In-person meetups with the customer, yeah, that's how it's done.
I mean, when you're a small startup, it's hard to like, sure, you're like a dependency and they're trusting their production app with you. So like the trust from just like an email or like a LinkedIn message is like almost not going to be there. Whereas like when you're in person, you have like this dense understanding of who this person is and like, would they be there for you if like that kind of thing. So I think the trust goes a long way, especially as a startup. Your job is to make someone else that's building like a bigger product trust you because they're gonna trust their app with you essentially, right? So.
They were building a bigger product, yeah.
I mean, they're much bigger than us at the time.
Well, okay. Yeah. You said your models power AI coding Infra in the background, so your customers can be in the headlines. Is that a deliberate choice to be invisible? Oh yeah, you were talking about this already.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my job is like their agent needs to be really good and really fast.
Okay.
Their customers don't need to know about Morph, but like I want Morph to be so compelling that everyone needs to use us from the agent perspective.
You went through YC as a solo founder. Most people say don't do that, and that it's just very hard to get into YC as a solo founder. What was that actually like? Like, yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I let it get to my head. Like I feel like when I got into YC as a solo founder, it's like, oh yeah, I'm the shit. I got into YC as a solo founder, but it was such a stupid way to think of things because like it's not anything. It means nothing. Like the job is to build a products everyone needs or that people need and be like genuinely useful. That's the hard part. And that's worthy of like respect, not like getting into like this made up thing and being like a made up, like being a solo founder is like, and getting into YC is like not actually a thing.
So when people say it's like they won't accept you if you don't have a co-founder, that's just
it's rare. It's like there was only like 8 of us in our batch, but like it's not actually anything concrete, right? Like getting customers, like building a good product that's useful. That like, those are the hard things that are like worthy of a celebration and respect, not this made up trite thing that I was proud of. And so like, I feel bad that I let that get to my head because I feel like it's not actually a thing.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely a lot harder, I would say. Like
yeah, but I think maybe it's worth like a good job, but like not to be so proud for many weeks. I think that was a mistake of mine.
What did you have to figure out that a co-founder would have just handled?
So like as a solo founder, like when I come here, for example, like there's no one leading the company, or when I do fundraising, for example, like no one's leading the company, right? So that stuff is a lot different. So like my calculus on stuff I could spend time on is a bit different because someone that has a co-founder, right, when they're fundraising, like the CTO could just like handle things. But I don't have that. So like when I'm doing things, I have to like think of different structures and systems. I make trade-offs that like another 2-person or 3-person co-founder setup wouldn't really understand. Like for example, if like some customer comes in now that like isn't worth the time, sometimes I have to like the way I do outbound, for example, is like within my Cloud Code, and like I have like a bunch of LinkedIn's and I have a bunch of emails, and like maybe it would be better to do this all manually. But like the trade-offs, like I have to take from like both on the coding side, go-to-market side. I think many 2-founder or 3-founder setups would say it's like not optimal or insane.
And what was the choice behind being a solo?
I mean, I had like a bar that I wanted to have met, and like I only really wanted. I think like being a co-founder with someone random rarely works out, and so that was sort of why. I mean, I worked with one of my close friends, and like I think it didn't work out from a technical perspective because we had like different technical bars, but yeah.
Wow. You're very careful, like we're like choosing to be like on the team. And
Yeah, both with hiring as well as.
At what point did you decide you needed people around you?
I mean, I think once we got to like 100 Slack, once I got to 100 Slack channels, I was like, I don't know what I could do now. Like, you know, like it's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
We're at like 210 or 215 or something now, and it's like, even for us too, it's a lot. But like, I expect a lot out of everyone. Like, I share all of my CLIs, our setups, and like, I think one person is capable of a lot more than people think. I think we're still picking up like assumptions from last year and the year before of like what one person's capable of. But I think one person's capable of around like, I don't know, around like 10 to 15x more than like a year and a half ago. And I think the expectation today is maybe 2x of that person, but I think it should be a lot higher.
Morph I did before this interview was reach out to you. It's one thing Molly O'Shea does.
Mm-hmm.
She reaches out to the person she's interviewing, their teammates and friends, and asks them 2 questions or
due diligence.
Yes. So what I asked some people about you is what's something about Tejas that most people don't see from the outside, and how would you describe Tejas? Who is he through your POV? And I got some answers. We're gonna read them out.
It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be bad. It's not gonna be good.
Okay. First quote: Tejas is very intensely him. If you're closer to him, he's still the same. No secrets. Just all the traits are more amplified. What traits define you? Like if someone got really close to you, would they see more? What would they see more of?
I guess like the filter comes off. Like I'm not afraid to tell someone like that your code is bad. Like I'll tell them like this PR is like ass. Like I'm not merging this, and like you should be embarrassed of this. And so like some people think it's kind of mean, but like I only really say that if I think that the person's capable of more. If I didn't think the person's capable of more, I just kind of like give up. It's like, well, it's not worth the breath if they're not capable of it. Like you're just being mean for no reason. But I feel like the nicest thing you could do for someone is be mean where it's like net ROI positive. Like there's people that are like nice in the short term, which is like you're nice in your day to day, but is that really nice in the long term? Because like if you're that person and that person ends up becoming like not a good engineer a year later, or like they don't get if their goal is not being a better engineer, whatever their goal is, like I feel like the way I talk to my friends is such that they are closer to their 1-year goal as opposed to like them feeling good about their day-to-day interaction with me.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So some people think like their takeaway from that is like he's a meanie, but like at the end of the year, I think it's a different story.
Very critical feedback is very important. Like, and if someone's giving you that feedback, it doesn't mean that they're trying to put you down. They just they genuinely care. Like they want you to succeed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I want everyone to succeed.
Okay.
I would only do it if I think that person could get better, or like if they're capable of more.
Okay.
Like if you see me and I'm not giving you like good feedback, or like if they're, I generally just don't think you're capable of more than I think. And so I bet that person in the short term would say, "Oh, Tejas is nice," but like the capable people, I feel like can like actually take the feedback and grow from it and actually get net better.
It's true.
Yeah. Not that I know everything, but
yeah. He's very hardcore. Codes all day, every day until he became a CEO and had to do other things. He seems to get a kick out of improving things, both code, products, but also people. You coded.
That's a good take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree with that, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you coded every day until being a CEO forced you to stop. What did that feel like when the job changed and you couldn't just be in the code anymore?
I'm very much still in the
You're
code.
still in the code,
uh, but I mean, I have to do the other stuff now. Like I have to when there's a contract, I can't just
Okay.
code my way through the contract. I've tried though.
You've
I've
tried?
tried to give a docx file to something I built, to edit the docx file. But, some things you just have to end up doing, like a DocuSign or something.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so code can get you quite far, but it can't get you everywhere. Like it doesn't build the relationships with people. It doesn't do the DocuSigns. It doesn't do the security review either.
Do you want to code you want to have coding as part of your job for a lot
No, I mean I think the ideal founder from 0 to 100 million or 0 to 500 million and then 500 to 2 billion, they're almost completely different people. You have to be as a founder able to change, because they're completely different people. Because from 500 million to 2 billion, you're scaling up your go-to-market. Your job becomes hiring and fundraising, as opposed to right now it's making sure the product is very compelling for us. I think that in order to have good product sense in the domain I'm in, I think I do need to have my hands in training and because right now last week, kernels came out for A6000 on A6000 Pro, and so that enables a certain product that we couldn't have been exist before because blank and things like that I need to know up at a high level, but I don't need to be coding as much as I am today. I think maybe today it's 80% of my time coding, or maybe 70, and then I think maybe it goes down to 25 or 20 or something.
He's a hater of half-assing things. He likes surrounding himself with people that are authentic and very intensely care about something. He believes actions speak louder than words or intentions. Only looks at the result of your actions.
Very true. Very true.
Only looks at the result of your actions. So not words, not intentions. Has that ever cost you a relationship?
Yeah, I think so.
When you notice that maybe someone is kind of words, you feel like you try to stay away from those people?
No, I mean, I just think when someone does an action or chooses to do something, it speaks much more loudly than what they say they're going to do.
Okay, last quote. He thinks very deeply about his work, in this case, the future of AI, and so has surprisingly accurate predictions. And known him for a few years now, so I can verify. This person can verify. What's a prediction you made about AI a few years ago that came true?
Well, I mean, basically all my predictions about code gen has been coming true. That the concept of vibe coding, where you'll be able to build web apps with code from English. Yeah, I mean, it became obvious after GPT 3.5. I mean, if you're in the ML space, it's not that hot of a take, but it seems like a hot take if you're outside of it. I mean, I was generally bullish on AI-driven approaches even back when everything was ConvNets and LSTMs. I was working I was in AI around 2019 as well. So, but by 2019 definition, today's AI is definitely AGI. But yeah, I was generally kind of early on that as well.
And what's one you're making right now that people aren't taking seriously?
I mean, they're starting to take it more seriously. It's the concept that all agents are going to be coding agents. I think we're in this weird period in between where not all agents are coding agents. But the stacks are fleshing out. Every agent you're going to use is going to. I don't think everyone's going to know. I think you're going to use an agent, and you're just not going to know there's any code. You're going to say do this thing with my Google Sheet. And you're going to say do this research, and I think it's going to go start writing code and doing some cool stuff for you. You're not going to see the word Python anywhere. You're just see magic. Here's the thing you wanted. Yeah, that's where things are going. I think because code is inherently unbounded. When you build a structured set of tools, everything's bounded, and code gives you this sort of thing with no ceiling. And all that you're limited by is the model capability to code. And models are getting so good at coding that that ceiling is almost you can't see.
What's on the roadmap that you're most excited about? The thing that keeps you up at night in a good way?
Honestly, right now we're sort of tapped out on launches for the model side at least. Compactions, we're just working on scaling and integration. We have a release for a product in a month or so, I think.
Fun.
I probably shouldn't say too much about it, but it's very cool. I think I think it'll make us a lot of enemies that are big company enemies because it's competitive with some stuff. But yeah, not a vague post. It's that's what I'm excited about is launching that. I want to see how it goes. A bit nervous though because we haven't really launched a product before because it's Like we've just sold like models, right, as APIs.
Okay.
But so this would be like an actual product.
For actual first product.
Yeah.
That's so huge. Oh my god. What do founders get wrong about AI agent infrastructure?
Oh, a lot. Like I work with a lot of the YC startups. They get a lot wrong with it. Like
Yeah.
in the beginning, like they're just trying to get stuff working. I think it's really hard to vibe code a good harness right now. Like if you say like Claude, make me like this agent that's good and does these tools, it's like quite bad. It's really bad. Infrastructure, like some people will start storing like for coding agents, they'll store GitHub repos in a Postgres database, and there's just a lot of stuff to get wrong right now because it's so early in the space for agents. And like all the stacks are sort of built around traditional software, and people are like hodgepodging things together to get it to work. I think one of the things they get wrong is like they focus too much on what people want today versus what's capable for tomorrow. And the other thing is I think they ask their users too much for solutions. Like the users don't know what the fuck AI can do. Like they have their problems, which I think you should listen to, but I don't think you should listen to their ideas because they don't really know like what AI can do. Because like what user would have asked for ChatGPT, right? Like when GPT 3.5 was there or 3 was there, no one was asking for that. Like you ask any user, they would not have said like, oh, I want this chat and I want like a chat box with it.
Yeah, no one said. So no one said that.
No one would have.
Ever
And so like
no one, because no one would have known that was capable. That was
yeah, that's why I think like the best products, the best founders right now are the people that have their hands in ML as well as product.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of merge the two and build something like really good.
Yeah. I read something in a book and it mentioned that like you built something that almost sounds absurd, like something that like people today would be like, what the heck? Like, no, this is not possible almost. But something, yeah. That like maybe so maybe it's okay that if people question you, like it's not that in the world. If people are questioning your idea, like just keep going on that. What do you think? Or like they don't believe in the solution, like you almost like that's a good
I mean,
idea.
I think if you launch it and people don't use it,
okay,
it's
So
probably a
launch
bad idea.
So it's a launch.
But-
That's where you have it.
But you don't need inspiration from your users to build a product. Like you,
Ooh,
I think one of my hot takes, the YC advice is like talk to your users, get your ideas from your users, and just do what they want, do what they say. I sort of think like the only part you should take from that is like listen to their problems, but definitely don't listen to their solutions, and just like because the founder today, like you use LLMs all the time, you have this intuition of like Claude can do this, but it can't do this, and it's bad at this, but it's good at this, and this part, like, and so you should just sort of trust that intuition as opposed to listening to what your users ask for too much.
That is a hot take, but it's such good advice. That is
I
so
think
good advice.
I mean, at least it's been good for me. I mean, it took me many years because like after YC, I pivoted a lot, and I think part of it was because it was hard for me to step away from the advice a bit. I think like some of the YC advice is really good, especially around like co-founder disputes and fundraising and stuff like this. But some of it around, especially AI product, is like a lot of the YouTube videos, especially, are a bit out of date now.
You grew up building the tech for a motel. Now you're building infrastructure that agents use to add code autonomously. What's the thread between those two things?
I mean, like just seeing opportunity, really. I mean, like at the motel, I saw opportunity because we didn't have a website. Here, I see opportunity because I think no one's looking at like both speed and inference optimization as a way to optimize models. I think today a lot of people they know that they can train a custom model, but they typically will just go to a Fireworks or a Together to go serve it. And we're like, okay, we're gonna own the full stack. We're gonna own the RL. We're gonna train it. We're gonna serve it ourselves on our own custom inference engines, and we're gonna extract every bit of value we can this way. Because I think again, to be compelling, we have to be better, faster, and cheaper. And maybe we could be like a little bit better if we trained it and just served it somewhere general, but then we wouldn't be faster, cheaper. And yeah, I think that like just training one model one time is not really a good recipe because you'll just OpenAI and Anthropic just release the next one, you'll just be displaced. Like you need some sort of system where you're going to keep retraining. For us, at least, we retrain every week, or we need online RL. So online RL is like a sort of a new type of way of approaching these problems where like your model self-improves based on data from people using the product.
Like this better, faster, cheaper, like what do you like, which one do you shoot like first? Like which one should go, like if you're kind of...
For training models?
Can you do everything? Like better, faster, cheaper, that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. that's sort of what our whole research is.
Okay.
Like, does that main model with our model as a tool, does that outperform that model alone? And so we eval on that. And of course, obviously, it needs to be better with our model, otherwise it's not worth using.
Yeah.
And better, faster, cheaper means you have to use less tokens from that main model, which is like Claude, for example.
Okay.
And so it ends up being net faster if you're using less tokens from that as well. And then better is just more accuracy, cheaper is based on how we price. And faster is from our inference speedups.
What's one thing you know now that you wish you had known when you were starting more?
To prioritize sales more. I think like I know that I know this now. But in the beginning, I think I had this tendency to like just go into the basement code and just block out all users and hope that they find my website. But this is I'm much reformed now. Like I see the light for sales, go to market, its importance, how to do it well.
You're learning, you're diving deeper into like marketing,
It's
go to
becoming
market,
like most of my job now is that. I mean, it's I don't know if it's most of my job. It's becoming a larger part of my job. It's the whole go to market motion.
Yeah, because you're like
I am able to. I think I've reached the limits of how much I can push into code, like go to market into code. Like I put my Slack, my Gmail, my LinkedIn, and everything into my Claude code. So I can do my go to market, but to some extent, like the in person stuff, I can't Claude code my way into in person stuff.
That's true. Something,
For now.
Yeah.
Maybe I can Claude code my humanoid to go to someone's
I was gonna say, yeah, like you double, you like, but would they want to speak to a humanoid version of you?
Probably not.
They're gonna be like, who is this like person? Like,
I'd probably
shaking my hand.
definitely lose the deal that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might be cool today
That
because
would
the
be
novelty.
cool. Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
If you jumped onto it early, then that's cool.
Like, you know, all the startups do the growth actually like bring donuts or something.
Yeah.
I just send you my humanoid instead.
Yeah.
Be a good growth hack.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay, just amazing conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
hopping on. Super great.